Well, hello friends, welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters, where I separate the truth from bullshit, facts from fiction, in plain English. And I have a real doozy for you today. I think you're going to like it. I, for one, I'm ecstatic over the whole thing. And I really need to share it with you because you're going to go, holy shit. A lot of the stuff he talks about, it actually happens. Anyway, I have my Friday afternoon favorite bevy here with lots of ice, lemonade, freshly squeezed, chilled. Oh, yeah. Well, going into the weekend, friends, Thanksgiving at the Machado household was great. We had family over. Both our children, my son-in-law, our granddaughter. We ate the turkey and had lots of wine and espresso and cognac and some, the usual things, right? And then got to lay on the couch for about 3 hours in my comfy pants. But it's always a good thing, and I hope that you enjoyed your Thanksgiving with your families as well. It really, truly is a time for Thanksgiving. And for those of us who are blessed, it's important to acknowledge that. And we do, and the guy upstairs, he knows that I know how blessed I am. Well, friends, they say that presents, they can come in all sizes, small and large and round and wait a minute, is that presents or is that revenge? Okay, well, both. In my case, I'm going to consider it both. If you break the law, you're going to be punished or held accountable. And that's what, keeps society functioning the way that it does, at least in our democratic societies, where people have an opportunity to voice their opinions, to say how they feel about things without reprisal or fear of reprisal. And we conduct ourselves in a civil manner, but if we don't, then there are laws to hold us accountable. If you break over or into the neighbor's yard and, yank their tomato plants. That wasn't me. Didn't do any of that. Or got apples from their apple tree, or something more serious, such as damaging or breaking a window or entering the house. And you know what I mean, right? There's laws. But these guys, they think that they can do whatever the hell they want, and they're not subjected to the same laws that we are. Even when it comes to their own laws, that being the Workplace Safety and Insurance Act and the other previous acts before that. They think it's okay. And I suppose one of the reasons why they believe that is because they're never held accountable. These people do whatever the hell they want, and they're not held accountable. So they go on doing the same shit. If you work for a company and you manipulate certain company documents, important documents, and transform them to something other than what they are, and change dates and things of that nature, you can be fired and you can be prosecuted for doing that, because you're breaking the law. But these people, like I said, they think they can do whatever the hell they want and go about their lives, screwing people over, breaking their laws, and not being held accountable. To this point, they've had good reason for that, because nobody's ever challenged it in a court of law. But that's about to change, and you watched one of my videos, I was talking about a class action lawsuit. So it's coming. Accountability is coming. And I'm going to be doing some videos on that. But I'm going to share with you a scenario that happened very recently where they were caught red-handed. You see, one of the things with our one Plan Plus legal membership with our company, WSIB Settlements, is that we do the WSIB case audit and money review. We establish a game plan, lay out the strategy and the steps that need to be taken to address any issues that weren't previously resolved or were resolved by the WSIB but not in the appropriate manner. And we lay all of that out in a report, and then we meet with the member or have a conversation and go over the report and then begin to implement that plan. And part of that is to write the submissions for the member. So you're going to have someone with experience like myself or another one of our experts prepare these submissions by following the plan that was developed through that audit. And those submissions are then sent to the member. The member has an opportunity to go through it. We have another conversation, address any questions, and then we put the plan in motion, and the plan is submitted. For the most part, although they're now, as of recent months, starting to catch on, they had no idea who was providing these submissions, but they knew that it wasn't coming from the worker, with good reason. But anyway, it doesn't change the fact that they've got many offices with many employees making decisions, and oftentimes one isn't watching what the other one does. So they're under the microscope. And once that plan is implemented, then we monitor the progress. And we have various tools in our app, such as follow-up docs to make sure that the responses are being provided in a timely manner, and a few other tools. So in this particular case, the case manager and the return to work specialist, this involved a worker who was being supported, or so he thought, to get back into the workforce. So you have a case manager and a return to work specialist working in tandem here to provide what I believe were required services to help him return to a job that was suitable and paid as close to, or if not more, than what he was earning before the injury, or the escalated pre-accident earnings, all the things that you're supposed to do. So they kind of got going on the whole plan of retraining, college retraining. And so the case manager and the return to work specialist, they got the approvals to get the plan in motion. They're encouraging him to, research the best college and do any, find out if there were any prerequisite exams or pre-entry exams that needed to be completed, things of that nature. And of course, there's a registration fee and there's the cost of the training. So he's doing all this research, he's gung-ho, and they're meeting. And this happened over a few months. They have meetings, he talks to the return to work specialist, is this what I've done? We can't really approve anything or can't really support anything until, the plan actually gets approved. And but you know what, just keep doing what you're doing. And so he thinks, yeah, okay. And so he lays out the cash that he didn't have. He had to go into debt to pay for the registration for the course, and lets the return to work specialist know that. And but as the months progress, there's more delays. The plan isn't being approved, but he's been given every indication that it will be. I mean, why else would they go down that road? And I've seen return to work plans approved in 24 hours. So what happened here? It's fucking bullshit. And the response that we got to those submissions, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Because what happens is when the rats are called on it, the rats decide they want to scurry. So they really completely screw things up for this guy, and he's getting to a point where the program is going to start, and he's not getting any approval. What he's getting from the return to work specialist as well, we can't really, send any sponsorship letters or whatever until it's formally approved. And he's like, okay, what the hell? I'm going to run out of money. If they don't approve this, they're probably going to cut me off and I have to find another job. So he did. He looked for another job and he told the return to work specialist and the case manager. He shared with them his concerns and they never discouraged him from doing so. It's not like they said, well, listen, no, we're headed on track here. We're going to be able to approve this for you. Just hang on, right? No. They didn't do any of that shit, right? The guy goes into debt. He's waiting. He's spinning his tail to do everything he can to get into this program. And so he finds another job, which was not suitable. It was beyond his restrictions. But he had a family to feed and he had bills to pay, just like every one of us. And he took the job and he told them. Well, within 2 days, the plan was approved. And but they said, well, you removed yourself from the return to work plan, so therefore your loss of earnings benefits are cut off because you removed yourself from the return to work plan. I'm sure you can sense just how absolutely I'm enraged about this, but this, despite he did everything he could to cooperate with these people. But sometimes when you're dealing with idiots and stupid people, and you've heard me say that you can't fix stupid. When you deal with people like that, you're like, what the hell? What do I do here? I mean, every normal thinking person would go, I better have a plan B here because these guys may not support me. And for months, they're supposed to provide or approve this plan. The person who's supposed to actually get this plan approved is the one dealing with me. That's the only person I know about that. And the case manager. Who else are they looking for approval from? Right? So the guy took another job and it didn't last because he couldn't do it. But you know what? He asked for more services and they shut him down. They shut him down and said, no, you removed yourself from this retraining program and that's it. No more help. So a couple of years later, he had a recurrence of his injury. So he wasn't working. He asked the WSIB. He was talking to the case man or the return to work specialist. The case manager. She found that he still wasn't employed, that he hasn't been able to find the work. And she says, you know what? You might be entitled to return to work services. Would you be willing to do that? And he says, yes, of course. Well, let me talk to the return to work specialist and we'll see if that can be arranged. So the return to work specialist and the case manager have a little chit chat, right? The two idiots from Idiotville chatting at each other like two complete fucking stupid morons. And then they come back to him and say, well, sorry, but you removed yourself from the plan before. We can't provide you with another plan. Thank you for raising my hopes again and dumping a big pile of shit all over them. So, he found out about us. I watched one of my videos, got in touch with me. I said, yep, let's have a look. We did the audit, had the game plan in place, submitted a 6-page submission. We email the submission to the worker after we've completed it. The member then uploads the submission to the WSIB. It's his submission. They have no idea where it came from. And that's the way I set it up. Because I need to watch these people like a hawk. I need to have them under the microscope without them even knowing that I'm watching. Although I'm sure they suspect by now. But this was sent in. And in that 6 pages, it was illustrated with references to documents, to memos, conversations, all of it was there to demonstrate just how miserably they had failed this guy. And, I thought somebody with maybe at a higher level, because generally we do write these reconsideration requests and they can go all the way up to the president. They don't like that either, but they have no choice but to deal with it. So you can't ignore the facts. So I thought, you know what? Why don't you get the manager to deal with this one? Let's just bypass the case manager. She was an idiot then. She was an idiot when she said that you could probably be eligible, and then said no for the second time. You don't need to deal with that person anymore. And I thought maybe the manager's going to look back and review the whole thing and say, yeah, we should give this guy some additional return to work services. Oh my God. So the manager responds. And I could tell from the first paragraph of reading this letter that she's already beginning to pound her chest like they do, when they stand up on their fucking perch, dictating, trying to exert their power just to show you and demonstrate just how powerful they are, right? And I'm reading it, okay, this is going to be interesting. And then, so not only does she blame him for the lack of success in the plan, despite the fact that he did everything he could to get this damn thing done, right? But then she decided to double down, right? And there was remember when I told you that the plan was approved, like within 2 days of him finding this job? And when I'm going through it and reviewing this plan, I'm going, wait a minute, this doesn't look right here. So they backdated the date of the plan a whole month, as if it started a month before, or as if it was approved a month before. And I pointed that out in the submission, right? This is what the manager responds. After she blames him for pretty much being an idiot, she then says, in the end, in order to ensure you would be reimbursed for your expenses, the return to work training plan was backdated to September, and I can't give you the rest of the date because it's confidential. Backdated. So it was okay for them to go and backdate the plan. The plan that should have been dated a month or 2 months before to allow this person to get into the program after he had already paid out of his pocket for the registration, waiting to be reimbursed. And now they're doing him a favor by backdating the plan. Are you fucking kidding me? And she states this kind of like, oh, we did you a favor. Come on, we did you a favor. Does that sound right to you? Yeah, that's what I think too. My thoughts exactly. So, for those of you watching, and this may have happened to you, has the WSIB ever told you if you were appealing a decision but you missed the appeal time limit and therefore you couldn't appeal that decision because it was past the 6 months appeal time limit? So therefore you lose all of your rights to appeal, no matter how serious and no matter how much at fault they are in your case, in the issues that you're appealing? I am certain that they would never do that because I have looked at hundreds of cases where they haven't done that. And I've reviewed thousands of cases on the Workplace Safety and Insurance Appeals Tribunal library and on Canley. And the WSIB is merciless. Yeah, they have their, if you can ask for an exception, here are the reasons that we can grant them the exception or consider granting the exception, whatever. This bullshit. Come on. That doesn't happen. Okay, they either want you to miss the time limit or give up. So they would never accept that. There are other examples where if you had tampered with a document, whether or not there's actually any proof of that, but that they suspected you of doing that, they will come after you and prosecute you. Because it's okay for them to do it when they're doing it, to cover up their own flaws and mistakes, because they have incompetent people making decisions. Incompetence is rampant within that organization. There's, in my opinion, based on all of my years of experience and the thousands and thousands of decisions that I've read that are legally based, and I look at how they make decisions, I can tell you, based on my experience, that the two major reasons why things don't go well for a worker is because they have incompetent people making decisions and they just don't give a shit. And that's why a manager was so arrogant in thinking that, let me take this injured worker and actually make him feel like even more of a piece of shit, and make him feel like, well, we were doing you a favor by changing that date, when the whole time we were screwing you because we should have approved that plan much earlier. You should have been in a retraining program and you should have never been in this position. But this is how the idiots down in Idiotville think, because they're arrogant. Well, you don't have any clue who's preparing all of these submissions. They're coming from my organization, at all offices, at all levels. And I'm watching you. I am watching you like a hawk. You're always under the microscope. I get up in the morning every day to see if you fell into one of the traps. Because I've told you, this is you, WSIB, I've told you before, many of you fools, if you fuck up, I will see it, and I will nail you to the wall with it, without any scruples, hesitation, or remorse whatsoever. I will nail you to the wall. So more is coming, my friends. Break the law. Do so, because you're going to continue to do that. I know you will. You can't help it. You cannot help it. And I will be there to nail you to the wall as many times as it takes. And for our members, this is a good thing. So, where are things out with this case? Well, stay tuned, because it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. But friends, if you have a situation such as this one that happened to you or somebody you know, let me know. Send me an email. Tell me about it. Let's have some fun with it, because they deserve it. Well, you can't break the law. It's the law. Welcome, my friends, if you're new to the channel. There's lots here to watch. Lots of content. I talk about decisions and policy and laws and all that stuff. I've got over 30 years of experience in all 5 major WSIB acts in the last 40 years. I can talk about every one of them. And if you like what you see, please share it with others, because my goal is to reach every injured worker in this province. Let them know that, you know what? You don't have to stand alone anymore. You can stand with these people, because they're going to be looking for accountability. Accountability is coming. So, my friends, I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. And watch my other videos if you're new. There's about 160 talking about all sorts of different areas of the law, such as loss of earnings, how it's calculated, long-term, short-term calculations, compensation rates, supplements, future economic loss, non-economic loss, pensions for pre-1990, supplements, and all of those things. There's so much there, and there's a lot more to come. And every now and then you're going to get one of these where Joe is excited because Joe just got a little present, and it's something worthy of celebration. All right, folks. So I'm sure you're ready to get on with your weekend. If you haven't made yourself a nice cocktail yet with lots of lemonade and lots of ice, and get into the long weekend or the weekend mode, then do so. And I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next week, but there will be a video next week. And when I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I can assure you it'll be another interesting one. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. It's free. It helps me to build the channel. And give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Give me a comment on the comment section. And as always, if you have any questions about your WSIB case or about this video, just send me an email right up here, joemachado@WSIBsettlements.com, and visit our website, WSIBsettlements.com. There's lots there to offer. If you have a WSIB claim and you're having issues, or you just got started, you're not really sure what to do, you need some support to navigate the process, okay? Visit WSIBsettlements.com because we have something there for everyone. And as always, my friends, and until next time, take care.